guys ready? I hope you are, because if you're not, I don't know what to tell you, because we're starting. I am your host, Professor Paul Markle, and we are coming to you. This is Student of the Gun Radio, in case you didn't know. And we're coming to you from the Silencer Shop Studios, home of the glass case of emotion.
SilencerShop.com, the easiest way to buy silencers online, period.
Is there a reason that you reduced the font size of that in the show notes?
No, there's not. I was making everything like equal, and then I forgot that was included, so I'm going to make that bigger. That's what she said.
Because I was looking for it because I take my show note cues from that.
There we go.
So here we are. It is, as you hear this, it will be probably January 7th, 2016. And if you live in the United States of America, you were just recently treated to a media spectacle put on by the Democrat Party and the social leftists in the United States, who believe that the chief executive has the power to create law through this thing called executive orders. And folks, we've talked about it before, but what the hell? I'll say it again. Are executive orders legal? Yes. Executive orders are there for the administration of the executive branch of government. The United States of America, we have three separate branches: the executive, the legislative, and the judiciary. Three separate but equal branches of government that are supposed to check and balance each other. Now, the chief executive, whether he is the governor or the president or whomever, is allowed by law to issue executive orders for the administration of the executive branch of government. The chief administrator, the chief executive, is not, and I would say again, does not have the authority to create law under the Constitution of the United States. However, when you create agencies, when you allow the Senate and Congress to punt their responsibilities, what do you mean punt their responsibilities? Well, when you allow them to create an autonomous, unchecked agency such as the ATF or the BLM or the IRS or the EPA, when you create agencies and then you give them blanket authority to create their own definitions, their own internal memorandums, and their own findings, what you're doing is you're circumventing the rule of law. So let's say you're the chief executive of the United States and you have an agency, an autonomous agency that has no oversight from the people. Jared, where do we go to vote out the director of the ATF? How do we go about voting him out of power?
You don't.
Oh, that's right. Well, what do you do if one of these agencies goes rogue and starts abusing the people? Where is the recourse for the voters? Well, there's an oversight committee, and what you need to do is you need to find out which senators or congressmen are sitting on the oversight committee, and then you need to petition those. But the committee is made up of both Democrats and Republicans, so you have to convince both parties that to oversee and censure. And then what they might do is they'll censure them. They'll send them a letter. And they'll say, hey, director of the ATF, you're a mean guy, and we're going to put a letter in your jacket, in your permanent record. We're going to put a letter in there that says, in the future, try not to abuse the citizens as much as you have in the past. All right, next business. Where do the voters go for recourse when the Congress and the president, previous presidents? I know that Comrade Barry did not create the ATF. That goes all the way back to the first socialist administration that we had, or the big hardcore communist socialist administration under Franklin Delano Roosevelt. But where do we go for recourse? And you say, well, Paul, he didn't pass a law. No, he didn't. What he did is he gave directives to his executive branch, which is where the ATF falls, law enforcement falls under executive, gave them directives to create more bureaucracy, to create, and, we're going to hire more, according to the sources I've said, that his new directives, now here is the catch-22, or the problem in that. Spending money is the authority of Congress. You know the President of the United States does not have the authority to spend one penny? He doesn't. The budget and where money is spent, where tax money is spent, is the job of the Congress. That's why all these bills, all the bills and laws and stuff, they're all wrapped around what money gets spent where. Now, according to the sources that I've seen, that in order to enforce this new executive action, that the BATFE MOUSE is going to have to hire 200 additional agents. Now, are they going to work for Unicorn Milk, or are they going to where's the money going to come from to pay for them?
Our pocket.
But the president doesn't have the authority to spend money. He can't authorize that. So does the Congress not have the oversight to say, no, we're not going to issue you any more funding? Or are they weak and flaccid and they're just going to roll over and let it happen? Now, I'm not going to spend the entire show talking about that. We are going to dedicate a good portion of tomorrow's show, of the bonus hour, the grad program. During the grad program, we're going to get into that in detail. But I just thought I would touch on that because I know you guys want to talk about it. The bottom line is this. People are in our world are getting all wrapped up in the minutia of what was said and how it was said and the specifics, and this is what he said. You're missing the boat there. If you're getting all wrapped around the axle about the specifics, you're missing the fact that we have a rogue executive, an executive that is acting outside of the purview of the United States Constitution, that has decided that it's his privilege to circumvent Congress, thereby circumventing the voters and the citizens, and just do what he feels like needs to be done.
Well, that thing was written 500 years ago, so it's old anyway.
The Constitution? No, it's like 200, but...
Oh, man, math.
Close. Math is hard.
Yeah. That's ridiculous because that's what I'm hearing. Not 500, that was an exaggeration, but it was written so long ago, it's time for an update or whatever they say.
Okay. So what I would say to you, and this is what I would say to your liberal left-wing psychotic friends your friends and relatives who think that good ideas are somehow constitutional, that because it's a good idea, it should be a law, or that the president has the authority to just do what he wants by the fact that he's the president. Hey, ask your left-wing friends if a Republican conservative president can just change the laws as they see fit. If it was a George Bush, because they all hate, he's the big demon. And George Bush was not a strict social conservative. He was kind of like middle of the road. Ask him if Ronald Reagan would have had the authority to just change the laws as he sees fit. And that's another thing that they get into. Like, you want to talk about executive orders? Derp, derp, derpa, derp, derpa. George Bush issued It's like, really? Yes. Executive orders for the administration of the executive branch of government are perfectly legitimate, and presidents have been doing that forever. It's when the president uses executive order to go around Congress to circumvent the Constitution to try and create de facto laws. Folks, do you want to be ruled by one man?
Why is Congress Why would they let this happen? Why would they just go belly up?
Because they're cowards.
Because we let cowards.
We
run.
allow these cowards to get away with it. We put them in. We listen to their campaign speeches. We put them in charge, and then they get in charge and say, "Well, it's really hard. We can't just fix stuff. Like, it'll take a long time for us to fix this stuff." Do you know why they don't give a rat's ass about? And I can say ass, right? I'm good with ass. Oh.
As long as you don't connect it with anything else.
Yeah. Okay. The word all by itself. Okay.
Yeah.
You know why they don't care about the Affordable Care Act, which is not? Tell me one person out there in the audience whose health care premiums have gone down and who has who has more freedom in their health care than they did 5 years ago. Raise your hand. I want to hear from you.
People that didn't have health care 5 years ago.
Oh, people that are getting it for free from the government?
Yeah.
Oh, well, there you go. Okay. Why is it that the Congress isn't really super serious, the Republican Senate and the Republican House? Why aren't they really hardcore serious about fixing that or eliminating it or rolling it back or whatever? Because it doesn't bother them. It's only the peasants that have to actually worry about that stuff. It doesn't bug them. It doesn't apply to them. They're part of the ruling class. All right, I told you I wasn't going to spend all this time on executive orders, and I'm not. I'm going to take a sip of coffee from my super cool Gunsight mug. Yummy. We drink good coffee here at Student of the Gun. We don't drink cheap coffee. Because why, Jared? Because life is too short
to have an ugly gun.
Well, but it's also too short to drink bad coffee.
Oh.
Okay.
I thought we were doing Duracoat.
No, we are going to do Duracoat. Duracoat because life is too short to have an ugly gun. Check them out at LauerWeaponry.com, or you can buy it at Brownells. Crossbreed holsters. Now, we've got we have to take that 15% off thing because I think it ended.
Okay.
I think the special ended.
We'll take the 15% off thing off.
Take the off thing off. But Crossbreed Holsters does have the new drop slide, and you want to go ahead and check out crossbreedholsters.com to see what's going on with them. And you might want to sign up for their newsletter or follow them on Facebook or something, because here lately they're constantly doing special sales and promotions.
They must have
stuff.
like a new email marketer or something, because they're actually doing a really good job.
Yeah, they're pumping out the sales and specials and exclusive deals and what have you. But they don't last forever. You need to pay attention.
Yeah.
All right, Brownells at brownells.com.
Kind of reminds me of somebody else.
Ooh, somebody like
Student of the Gun.
Yeah. And what can you get at Brownells? Well, you can get emergency and survival gear. Another one that you want to follow them on their Facebook or get on their email list, because they just did this week a big ammo sale. But that stuff's not going to last forever. So you got to get it when the getting's good. And you can get frog lube from brownells.com too. Oh, that's what we were going to do. We've got today's Thursday, and we've got the homeroom special. Okay. I forgot about that. Velocity Triggers at velocitytriggers.com. They are
superior quality and value.
They are, absolutely. SWAT Fuel Store. Go to SWATfuelstore.com. Type in the promo code SOTG2015.
Yeah,
you can still use prepared.
Yeah, it's still the same. Yeah.
You can still use the prepared code.
Yeah.
Go to SWAT Fuel Store, use the promo code prepared, and you're going to save 15% off your total order, and that is righteous.
Did you say 50?
No, 15.
15.
I didn't say 50. I said 15.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just trying to hit all the demographics out there.
Well, yeah.
Because we got everybody.
That's true. We are like a rainbow coalition. And Century Arms, the sweetest smelling arms maker in the United States of America. Check them out at centuryarms.com. All right, we got a bonus twofer for you guys today as far as Go Team incidents, and we want to get right into them now. That's why I say amen, All right, this first one, actually, they're both from Concealed Carry Nation. That is the source of both of them. But the first one, robber says, empty your pockets to concealed carrier, got more than he bargained for. And this was Dateline January 1st, 2016. So we rung in the new year in Detroit, Michigan. A would-be armed robber was shot and killed when he walked behind a gun owner purchasing cigarettes at a local gas station, according to WXYZ Channel 7 in Detroit. The robber walked up behind him, told him to empty out everything from his pockets. That was when the gun owner turned around and shot him at close range. The would-be robber was pronounced dead at the scene. No further injuries were reported. Oh, excuse me while I shed a tear. No, I'm not Barry. I can't cry on demand like an actor. It's poetic justice, said one witness to the crime. You come to do something that's tainted, that malicious.
Oh, there was a malicious comment.
Yeah, it was. They took out the, that Shiite. You do some kind of Shiite like that, and that's just, and it is just that raunchy to another person, and he flips the script on you.
Oh, man.
You gotta love eyewitnesses in Detroit. Oh, Detroit police are not expecting to press charges against the gun owner. Duh. He was stunned just like any of us. He was stunned just like any of us would be, the store manager said about the victim. We've been here 30 or 40 years. We've never had anything like this happen.
Why all of a sudden?
I don't know. I tell you what, though.
Because they feel empowered?
Well, that's one less scumbag. They know that if they get away with it, that people like Comrade Barry will make excuses for them. As a matter of fact, what do we know? It's not the person's fault. It's the gun's fault. We don't hold in 2016, 2015, the modern era, we don't hold humans responsible for their behavior. Oh, no. If there were less inanimate objects in the world, there would be less crime.
So that gun saved that guy's life because it was the gun's fault.
That's right. Good gun. I'm going to pat you on your little gun head there. Good gun. I will rub you maniacally with an oily rag. All right, so Go Team Detroit, where the police chief up there says, arm yourselves, people. And this guy took the police chief's advice, and he armed himself, and we say, Go Team. We got another story, and this one is a little bit more recent. As a matter of fact, it just happened, a couple of days ago. And the report is from concealednation.org. If you want to check out any of these stories, you can do that. Of course, if you're looking for the show notes and the story sources, where's the first place they should go, Jared?
They should go to studentofthegunradio.com. And if you scroll down a little bit, the first little image up there on the top, scroll down past that, and there will be the top 3 or 4 shows. I don't remember. And then you can get everything there. If you're part of the grad program, you can go back all the way to episode 001, which was like 3 years ago.
That's crazy. 001. Back to 2014?
2013. March of 2013.
No way.
Yeah.
No way.
Yep.
No.
We're coming up on 3 years.
Wow, that's
We
crazy.
hit 300 episodes already. Now 3 years is next.
All right, Dateline. Did you want to say something else?
Yeah, I was going to say, if you're not part of the grad program, then you could still get the past 50 episodes on studentofthegunradio.com. So go there.
.com. All right. Manchester, New Hampshire, a 65-year-old woman, half her attacker's size, is crediting her firearm for saving her the other night during a frightening ordeal that occurred just a few feet away from her apartment. I am curious as to the details.
She obviously went looking for trouble at her apartment.
Yeah, this 65-year-old woman was obviously, the reason she was carrying a gun was because she's paranoid and was out looking for trouble. Because according to the left, that's the only reason. Or maybe she'd exhausted all of her, you know what they say, if you find yourself with a gun in your hand, you've just failed to use all your other options.
I think this is the first time we've had a story from New Hampshire. You think so?
I don't know.
I don't remember ever saying that name on the radio.
The woman, who is 4'11" and 105 pounds, says she was stopped at Mobile on the Run, whatever that is, 1050 South Willow Street at about 11:30 p.m. after leaving work. Oh, she stopped at Mobile on the Run. I'm going to guess that is a Quickie Mart gas station kind of a place. She told police she was on South Willow Street at a stoplight when she noticed a dark-colored sedan behind her. She said it caused her heightened concern when it followed her into her apartment complex parking lot. So she parked as close to her building as possible. She said the following vehicle parked close to hers, and as she got out of her vehicle and headed for the building, she heard a car door close and a person quickly walking up behind her. Okay, if
she paid attention to the red
yes,
flags.
She paid attention, but she's kind of messed up a bit, because here's the deal, folks. If you think that is a situation, you think you're being followed, don't go home, drive somewhere else, drive to like a police station, drive to a public place, drive to whatever. But in any event, she turned to see a white male coming up behind her, running past her, and then situating himself directly in her path. The woman said she then reached into her pocket. That's when she pulled out her firearm and fired a shot, striking the man in the chest. The police say the woman has a concealed carry permit. Oh, well, good. The man, Robert Bonitales, 23, was taken to the hospital by an accomplice who was waiting in the vehicle. When his description was heard over the radio, an officer at the hospital recognized Bonitas and arrested him. This is yet another fine example of an armed citizen taking control of their personal safety. Shouldn't she have just called 911 and waited, Jared? Isn't that what you're supposed to do?
Yes.
Couldn't she have dialogued with him? Maybe the 65-year-old woman should have dialogued, and you know,
she should have invited him in, made him some tea,
and read him a copy of The Purpose-Driven Life.
Yeah.
I don't know. Well, go team to Detroit, and go team this woman. Sadly, the suspect in this lived. You're like, oh, that's wrong for you to say, Paul. How can you say sadly he lived? Well, because in the world that we live in today, the Justice Department will not hold this guy for very long. He will not spend much time in jail, and he will get out, and he will eventually abuse and rob, and he will find someone who doesn't have a gun, and he will hurt them. So, word to the wise. Jared, do you know we got an update from one of our fans that lives in Albuquerque, New Mexico?
What did they say?
Yesterday's or 2 days ago show, the show from 2 days ago, where the concealed carrier who went outside to investigate the break-in.
Oh, yeah, I didn't know you got an update.
Vehicle. Yeah, we got an update via Facebook. Guy said that was that 2 of the 3 have been caught, and they're both recidivist criminals who've been in and out of the system numerous times.
Imagine that. I would have never guessed.
But I thought when they arrested the bad guy, then they went away and they never were back out to hurt you anymore. That's you know. That's why you should call 911.
Think that?
So the police, apparently people in the United States are that stupid or naive that they think, oh, the police arrested him. He'll be gone forever. He'll never be back to harm me again. No, in our world, we're so tolerant. Oh, you need to be tolerant. We're so tolerant of evil that we allow it to just keep going and going and going and going.
Like the Energizer Bunny.
That's right. And we expect that someone else is going to take care of it. What do you mean, Paul? It's not my responsibility. That's right. It's not your responsibility. Don't take any responsibility for the world that you live in. You're just floating around in it like a turd in a toilet. You're just floating around. It's not your responsibility to do anything. It's not your responsibility to protect your community. No, it's someone else's responsibility. Except that someone else doesn't care. Someone else, the someone else's who are supposed to take care of you, who are supposed to make sure that your city, that your country, that your state, your nation is secure, they're secure. They have armed security and gated communities. They don't understand what you peasants are complaining about. They have the people from D.C., they have lifetime retirements.
I have an idea.
They have money for life. They go up there. They're not worried about cash. What's your idea?
The ASA, the Affordable Security Act. Everybody gets their own security guard.
Yeah, everybody gets a A bodyguard paid for by the government.
Yeah.
No.
I don't see a problem with that.
Only the elite. Only the ruling class elite get that. You peasants, you just need to be reasonable, turn in your guns, register your guns, get a permission slip. Maybe the government will allow you. Maybe. And then the vermin that you're afraid of, well, we can't just lock people up. We can't just punish people. It's not their fault. It's your fault, actually, for being racist and your white privilege. You deserve to be robbed and killed. Didn't you know that? Well, listen up, because I'll tell you.
That goes back to the, not that what you said, but what I said about the ASA, going back to the ACA. My thing is when they come up with a proposal that Congress is not exempt from, then maybe I'll like it.
No.
Like if they use the same thing that we have to use, then I might be all right with that.
You mean like when you get elected to Congress and you get a pension for life, that kind of a thing?
Yeah.
And that when you're no longer the president, you still get armed security for life paid for by us? That? Do I get armed security for life? No, because you're not part of the ruling class.
Hey,
You're not part of the elite ruling class. You peasants need to understand that.
Everybody that can hear my voice right now.
Are you about to drop one?
Yeah, Professor Paul needs to be a write-in for the 2016 election. Seriously. I know that our grad program members will do it, so there will be some people doing it. But Paul G. Markle should be a write-in for the 2016 election. Let's make it happen, because he would be a better president. Wouldn't you?
Oh, did you see what Zach put up? Zach the shipping ogre, in addition to being the shipping ogre, he's also the social media guy. What's funny is people will take swipes at me on on the social media, like you think that you blah 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 blah, and the fact is the only thing that I'm allowed to post anything on is the Twitter account.
He gets 160 characters.
Yeah, I'm allowed 140.
Oh, is it really?
I think it's 140. Yeah.
Oh. And plus the link. So
I don't know how many characters the link counts as. It counts as a few.
Enough. Too many. But, I don't know.
Yeah, the only social media thing that I have that I actually post directly to is Twitter. Everything else is a combination of Jared and Zach the shipping ogre and what have you. Because quite frankly, I don't have time for all that crap. But no, Zach actually posted a picture today, and I said, I wish I could have been a rock star, but then I remember that this is my Stratocaster. And
what is it?
It's a rifle. It's an AR-15.
Oh, that's cool.
That's my Stratocaster.
That's cool.
That's, so I thought that was cute. But anyway, let's go ahead and it is Thursday, so we've got a Student of the Gun homeroom for you guys.
What you gonna do when it all comes back to the place that you never wanted it to come back to? And where you gonna roll when the bottom drops out and you got no place to go? Who you gonna trust when trust is a must? You better roll with the rest of us. So pack your bags and all the faith you can, 'cause it's about ready to hit the fan. Come to the ready. It's 2012, all about the re-election of an antichrist. Come to the ready. You don't believe me, just look deep into the soul of the liar's eyes. Come to the ready. The Constitution of our nation is...
All right, the Student of the Gun homeroom is brought to you by Crossbreed Holsters, the sweetest milling. No, that's not it. Crossbreed Holsters at crossbreedholsters.com. And I forgot to mention this, but I'm going to mention it now. They have a new drop slide, and they did a special on it last week. It was the end of August, the end of December, was the 30th through the 3rd.
Yeah.
The 30th of December through the 3rd of January, they did a special on their brand new drop slide holster. And if you guys who don't like in the waistband, you're like, I don't like that in the waistband. It's not comfortable. It's never going to be comfortable. And I don't like it. Okay. The fact of the matter is the Crossbreed Bruce Jenner commemorative Super Tuck is the most comfortable, highest quality in the waistband holster you're ever gonna wear. And I've told you this before, but I know that since the last time I said it, there's probably hundreds, if not thousands, of new listeners. So I'm going to say it again. Not 10 years ago, about 5-6 years ago now. I guess it was 6 years ago when I met Mark Craighead, and he showed me the holsters and he explained what it was all about. I had seen the Crossbreed holsters in ads in magazines and what have you, and my first thought was, there's just too much going on there. That's what I thought. And I'd also previously, when I was a police officer and a bodyguard, I'd tried several inside the waistband holsters, tuckable holster, not really tuckable, but I never found one that was comfortable for me for more than a couple of hours. I found that if I tried to wear an in the waistband holster, that after an hour or two, I was adjusting it and tugging at it and pushing it. I was getting like what they call hot spots. One area of the gun was pushing against my hip, and it just was not comfortable. And so I gave up. 20 years ago, I gave up on inside the waistband holsters. I know all the old timer guys are like, dude, the Milt Sparks Summer Special. You got to get a Milt Sparks Summer Special. Well, I tried the Milt Sparks Summer Special, and I never found it that I could wear it for more than a couple of hours before I wanted to take it off. So when Mark introduced me to the Super Tuck, I was like, okay. And he said, just wear it he goes, do me a favor. He said, wear it for 2 weeks and give it a genuine, honest test. And if you don't like it, money back guarantee, no sweat. Okay. I started wearing that sucker. And yeah.
I'm
works.
Spoiled because I've never
you
I
never
didn't have
had
to go
through that.
the selection process.
Yeah, you never had
just
to
like,
go
hey,
through
this
that.
is awesome, wear it. So I did, and then I was like, okay. So I don't really understand what it's like to have. I mean, I do kind of understand
Uncomfortable holsters.
Yeah, I've worn a couple that give me the hot spots, but I mean, I've never really had to go through like a year of just having a crappy holster.
Yeah. So I'm a believer, and I'm telling you what, if you're in that same boat like I was, you're like, oh, dude. And I'm not talking about people that just put a gun on and go out for an hour and then come home and take it off. You're never really going to know if a holster is quality if you're doing that nonsense. And first of all, if you're constantly taking off your gun all day long, you're wrong. You need to stop doing that, because eventually what's going to happen is you're going to need the gun and it's not going to be there because you play this little game with yourself. If you can't, if your method of carry doesn't allow you to put the gun on in the morning and wear it until you go to bed at night, then it's not quality. And I don't know what to tell you. You can spend $35 on a cheap, crappy holster, and then you complain that it doesn't work, and I'll say, and I'm going to look at you and say, duh.
For the love of all that is holy, do not get a collapsible holster. When you pull the gun out of your holster, it should not collapse. It should stay the same.
One size fits nothing. No, but I went to the gun show, man. This company, they stitch them in their garage, and it's, oh, God in heaven. I don't know what to tell you. Stop doing that crap. All right. But what am I going to talk about today on the Student of the Gun homeroom? Well, first of all, thank you to Madison Rising for the music. If you guys haven't checked out Madison Rising yet, they do the intro music, and then, of course, the Come to the Ready song is from Madison Rising as well. And if you want to find the link, go to studentofthegunradio.com. Oh, yes, you can do that. All right. But here we go. So this week, what have we had it's January 7th, and already we've had multiple assaults on your liberty, on your freedom. And you're frustrated, you're angry, you don't know what to do, you should be doing something. Okay, folks, and people ask me, Jared, people are like, well, dude, you need to, what's your comment about this current situation or this current unlawful, unconstitutional act, or what's your comment about that, or what should we do? And I look at them like, what do you mean, what should we do? I've already, how many times do I need to say it? So what I did, and what Jared did, is Jared created a website called PatriotFireteam.com. And you know what I noticed yesterday, Jared? I came in this morning and I checked the stats on the Patriot Fire Team books, and they spiked.
Cool.
The same day that Comrade Barry came out and said, derp, 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 and derp, 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 and wah, wah, derp, derp, wah. That's pretty much the exact quote, wasn't it?
He sang the European national anthem?
Yeah.
Bah!
Bah.
The Patriot Fire Team is something that we're going to do a lot more with this year.
You think, with one hand, that we're telling the American people that you just need to be more reasonable. If you would only accept more restrictions on your liberties, everything will be wonderful. Oh, and P.S., we're going to bring thousands upon thousands of 7th century death cultists into the nation, and we're going to intersperse them in all of your cities. So there's that. Oh, and do we even need to mention the fact that while Comrade Barry is telling you don't need guns, and on the other hand, he's letting terrorists out of Guantanamo and just feeding them back into the field? Do I need to mention the fact that known terrorist leaders have been released and just put back into the field, and then bam, they're right back at it, killing? What? Oh, come on, Paul. What are we supposed to do? I don't know. Execute them? Oh, you just can't kill terrorists. Or who do you think you are? What gives you the right to kill terrorists? We have to let them back out. And it's like the Canadians. We need to observe them and see if they've rehabilitated themselves. But the only way we can do that is by letting them back out into the world. Good plan, America. So the people that are supposed to be protecting your communities, supposed to be protecting your state and your nation, have decided that they have absolutely no interest in doing that. That's not just me talking. That is the fact. You're frustrated. You're angry. You want to do something. You're thinking, I should be doing something, but I don't know what that something is. Okay, great. Go to patriotfireteam.com. Put in your first name and your email address. It costs you nothing, and you'll get the free report, How to Get Started. And then if you're really feeling super froggy, you can order the book. I'll even sign it for you. I will take a blue pen, and I will sign my name on it, and Zach the shipping ogre will put it in a box and ship it to you. How's that sound? But if you don't want to part with the, I don't know, $15, $20, whatever it is, if you can't part with that, that's cool too. Just sign up and get the free report. But do something. Prepare yourself. Prepare your family. Prepare your community. Because if you don't take care of business, it's not going to get taken care of. Can we all agree on that, Jared? I mean, I would think even left-wing psychos, well, no, left-wing psychos can't agree on that because they don't want to take responsibility for anything. It's everyone else's responsibility. So that's it. That is it for today. Tomorrow we are going to dive in very, very deeply into the executive orders nonsense. And you know what we're going to talk about tomorrow, Jared? We're going to talk about the Boston Tea Party and the real reason that the Tea Party occurred. Most people think it was because of the tax. It wasn't because of the tax. But we're going to talk about that tomorrow.
If you're not part of the grad program and you want to hear that tomorrow, go to studentgunradio.com. Click on the link to become a member, and you can start your trial for Student Gun Radio or for the grad program. And also, today's homework is to like us on Facebook at Student of the Gun, and I am on there as well as at PT Jared. So go follow us.
There you go, hippies. Bye.